Hello everyone, this is topic 12, the expository text type. Introduction. A key component within communicative competence, which is the acknowledged aim of all language instruction, is pragmatic competence, which, among other things, includes mastery of discourse and the identification of culturally specific scripts and situations. Moreover, it should not be forgotten that the text is central to any act of linguistic communication. A text may be defined as any passage, whether spoken or written, of whatever length which forms a unified whole. It's also a semantic unit and a unit of language in use. One of the main characteristics of a text is to have texture, which is mainly achieved through cohesion and which may be defined as the semantic integration among its parts. Along with cohesion, another text-centered notion is coherence, which concerns the way in which the concepts and relations underlying the suffix text are mutually accessible and relevant. Rhetorical modes, also known as modes of discourse, describe the variety, conventions, and purposes of major kinds of writing. There are 6 main text types, and here they are. However, the boundary between these text types is not clear-cut because they're not mutually exclusive and indeed frequently overlap. The expository text. The purpose of expository writing is to explain and analyze information by presenting an idea, relevant evidence, and an appropriate discussion. An expository text then provides the addressee with information about a particular topic or subject which the addressee has good, little, or just no knowledge at all. In this sense, expository texts may be difficult to produce and understand because they offer a good deal of new information which compels the reader to put all the cognitive resources to use. The illocutory force of expository texts is to explain, define, and clarify, while the perlocutory force is just to expand the addressee's knowledge and understanding of the subject. Good examples of expository texts would be definitions, textbooks, newspaper articles, and also scientific treatises. This text type in particular is easily confused with argumentative texts, since argumentation also provides information. Nevertheless, whereas an expository text aims at clarifying and providing information, the main goal of an argumentative text is to convince. Structure of expository texts. Expository texts are usually structured into 3 classic parts, and here they are. Characteristics of expository texts. The text is organized according to the logical relationships between its constituent parts. It consists of a reasoning process which takes a preliminary premise leading to a final conclusion. There are interesting connections between discourse types and our choice of particular syntactic structures. It's been noticed that speakers and writers tend to use more purpose clauses in these texts, normally in the form of 2 infinitive clauses. Some key features are shared knowledge, where the writer or speaker of an expository text must have a clear idea of the audience the text is addressed to. Then there's thematic progression. Since expository texts are constantly renewing information, the balance reached between the rhyme and the theme is one of the determining cohesive features in these type of texts. And finally, supralinguistic features, which help to organize the information in a hierarchical way. Methods of expository analysis. The way information is presented is of paramount importance, and in this sense, the writer's knowledge must be rationally organized. There are 6 basic methods of expository analysis. The first one is definition. To define is to give a precise identification to an object or concept. There are at least 4 ways to define. The first one is by use or quality, then by category, also by example, and by negative definition. Then we also have classification and division. Classification arranges groups of objects or ideas according to a common theme, but division moves downwards, dividing a general class into its parts. We also have example or illustration. The expository text can be much more interesting and easier to follow if it has plenty of good examples. These effectiveness will depend on their vividness and relevance, of course. Comparison and contrast. This type of writing shows the similarities and differences between two or more subjects. In general, comparison is more common thanks to effective techniques such as similes, analogies, and metaphors. Cause and effect writing, also known as analysis, is the one which identifies the reasons for and outcomes of an event or situation. And finally, process or function. Whereas causal analysis seeks to answer the why of things, process analysis is just concerned with the how. In conclusion, students need to be presented with and encouraged to produce different types of text. By exploring natural language used in authentic environments, learners gain a greater appreciation and understanding of the discourse patterns associated with a given event, as well as the social-linguistic factors that contribute to linguistic variation across settings and contexts. In the concrete case of the expositive text type, coherence and cohesion are of paramount importance. When asked to produce expositive texts, students should also be especially objective, presenting facts as clearly as possible for the reader to obtain information, or simply enjoy the expositive texts. In other words, special care must be taken not to bias the content of the text. In short, students need to be able to distinguish the different genres, know what the purpose in reading or writing them is, and therefore know what to select. This will allow them to have some knowledge of what to expect when they read, or what they should be aiming at when they write. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to check out the other topics, like, comment, subscribe, whatever, and I'll see you in the next one.